Hello and welcome back to the Call of Duty World Championship. My name is Rel. I am joined by Maven, and we have TCM going up against Wild Gaming in the loser or lower bracket, round number 1.
Yeah, so we finally have entered into these lower bracket games, which means winner will go on. I believe winner of this is playing for top 12. Loser goes home. That will be all she wrote for one of these teams, and I do believe this might be the first elimination game we've had. I've been trying to keep up with the other broadcasts, and I think up to this point we've done the upper bracket.
Yep. It's just been upper bracket all over continuing, so we're going straight into that lower bracket now. And it's exactly like you say, this is going to be heartbreak for one of these teams because they've had the first chance. They've got knocked down, so if they lose this, that is it. They're not walking away with any money, and they will fall out in that bottom bracket, really.
Yeah, and that's okay. Well, we got the bracket here for you guys to take a look at. This is for the upper bracket, so just kind of an update on what's going on. I believe Optic and Strictly Business are currently in a Game 5 S&D. I'm not sure the result of that right now. Trident Rise is also going on as well. Phase and Complexity will be coming up shortly. We will then have, I think it's... a lot of games come out. TK and Envy, which is a wild. That's a lower bracket game. Think about this. If Optic were to beat SB and TK were to then beat Envy, Envy basically lost to the number 1 seed in SB and the number 3 seed in TK.
It could happen.
And they were the 5 seed coming in.
Well, this is what I love about this actual Call of Duty Championship, because every single team, every single game here is literally the best of the best from around the world. It's not like there's kind of going to be a walkover game or anything like that. But hey, here we go. Let's jump straight into this. And now TCM face defeat to Complexity to knock them into this lower bracket. They are one of, if not the best European team in circulation at the moment. Yeah,
and we did a TK game earlier. It was me and you, or me and Bryce that did a TCM game earlier, and they looked very, very strong. And Wild, I actually did that game. They lost to Rise Nation, is who put them in this position. And I know you and I did a Rise match, and Rise has looked very, very strong. They're in a match right now against Trident, and I'm not sure the result of that currently.
Well, I actually went over and had a look. Apparently, they were tied 1-1, and then the Blitz game got restarted. They drew it. They are going neck and neck over there.
Oh, wow.
And, the Australian guys showing the support from Immunity. And, of course, Bioacid, one of the casters here, he's also supporting the team.
Yeah, so basically both of these teams have lost to teams that should be cementing themselves into the top 8 right now if they win their round 2 games out of this bracket. But, really strong. Basically, we have 2 strong... one strong European team, 1 strong Canadian team. They were the number 2 seed, I believe, Wild, out of Canada.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Vex... I've got to get this right now. Vex Revenge was the number 1 seed, but Nex plays for Wild Gaming here. Nex is actually American, playing under the Canadian team. The story goes that he thought he would have an easier qualification playing under a Canadian team than an American team.
Yeah, and I apologize, Wild, not to Rise Nation. The Rise Nation knocked out the other Canadian team. Wild, we just saw lose. I just cast that one. They lost to Xfinity. That's it. They went to a Game 5 where Xfinity won a commanding Game 5 S&D against them.
All right. Well, TCM are looking very, very strong here. We can see point streaks from each player. Gunchi finally does get shut down, but TCM are in full control of this map. Both Bravo and Charlie are under TCM control.
Yeah, you see that 6 streak by Madcat, 4 streak by Moose. They're really getting the slang under control now. They are up 10 with just about, like you said, 3 minutes coming on here. They are going to push C. He is cleaned up there. I think we saw Marky B with a 2 or a 3 piece there to wipe out the side of Wild Gaming.
Yeah, and it's great. We've seen on Twitter a lot of that hashtag TC Empire. A lot of the European guys, particularly the UK folk back home, will be supporting these guys as the hot favourites to do well in this tournament. But they are going up against a very strong Canadian side in Wild Gaming. Let's see what's going on for Inceps now, 6-4 for his team.
Yeah, this is my first European team. All I've done is United States versus Canada so far today, so we get a little variety. But a little experience with TCM just early in the bracket, and we saw Madcap put up some huge games. Marky B was just going off earlier today, so definitely a strong side. As we can see by the score, out to an early lead here in this first side of Strike Zone domination.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really going to be working in their favor now, because they're just rotating around the map. Every single time we see Wild Gaming securing a flag, TCM are just getting one back for their own, and that lead is just extending. But now did they capture it? Yes, they did. Wild Gaming are in control of 2 flags.
Yeah, that's going to be big for them to try and hold these as we round out this map, because we just got under the 2-minute mark. They're trailing by 14 now. They're going to need to hold this 2 cap a little bit just to claw back in it. You never want to go first game, first side, down big.
And I want to see what's going on with Moose. He's 12-4 here. A lot of people regard him as one of the best Ghost players in Europe at the moment, and he's really proving that now. He tried to deploy the trophy system on Alpha to get the capture, but it remains neutral.
Yeah, and 13-5 now. That is just a huge score out of him. I'm really just carrying the side for TCM when it comes to slaying here. We've hit the minute-and-a-half mark. Lead is still the same, looking at 13 points. We do have the 2-cap currently on the side of TCM, but as we see, Wild is in the process of maybe neutralizing A. We have a guy standing right by it, and there he goes for the neutralization.
There we go, and it is going to be Brock here. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Nex. Nex, I would have said, would have been one of the stronger members of this team. I know he plays a lot online. He's got a huge following, a lot of support for him, but he's just getting shut down by TCM.
Yeah, you know, as you said that, he got a 2-piece, a chance at a 3-piece, but looked the wrong direction. Brock in here trying to make huge plays at B. Unfortunately, he did get some help from his teammate there. They should be able to secure B here, which would give them a 2-cap here to try and claw back in this a little bit as they're down 15 here currently. Okay,
and let's not forget TCM were the European champions. They came in here with the best European seed after they took away 15,000 euros, and that title is European champions in the qualifiers.
Yeah, obviously they are a huge and very strong team, big following out of Europe, and I know we have a lot of their fans. We've been getting tweets from them all weekend long, and just looking at the score here, we're getting down to the last 20 seconds. The lead's been anywhere between that 12 and 15 range, kind of for the last 2 minutes.
There we go, and as you say, you know, it's a noticeable lead. It's not a massive one, but it's fairly significant. 82-65. There's going to be one more tick of the clock as the points go over. 84-66 is how this game is going to finish out.
Yeah, so we get that jotted down. I know we're not exactly the best mathematicians here, but going in, that's right kind of on that border. You know, we talk time and time again where 20 seconds starts to be kind of that breaking point where it becomes very hard to overcome. So they're within that just barely, but we would need a very strong performance out of Wild to hop back into this one.
Yeah, and I mean 18 points is fairly significant here. You've got to think if you completely dominate, if you've got all 3 flags and you hold them for a full minute, that's 36 points for your team. So that's basically 30 seconds of 3-capping an enemy, which is very significant given that there's only 5 minutes remaining of this game.
Absolutely. But, you know, we've seen some really strong play out of the Canadian team Wild here on and off all weekend. So I think they have the potential to do it. They definitely have the skill, but after that first map, I mean, they really did just kind of get outslayed.
Yeah, and I mean, TCM, you could say, were a little bit unfortunate in who they got drawn against, given that they had to play Complexity, the hot favourites to win this tournament. So we could be seeing them smash through the through the lower bracket, or it could be the case that Wild Gaming are able to end them right here, right now, and advance themselves. Because remember, Wild Gaming are one of the 2 Canadian teams that are in attendance at this event now.
Yes, and you mentioned Complexity. I think they have already wrapped up their second-round game, so they've secured top 8. I believe FaZe has also secured top 8. And I still don't know the finish of the SB Optic game, but we're starting to kind of get the picture here of how the finals, how it's going to kind of break down to these final teams here going into tomorrow.
Yep. And I think Complexity, actually, they've now guaranteed top 6, so they already have $50,000. And they're playing to actually extend that even further. So they are just sailing through. And I think, did you say it was FaZe they're going up against next?
No. FaZe just also won their second-round match.
Okay.
They may, actually, I think they are playing Complexity. I have to take a look at the bracket.
Yeah, we'll get clarity on this
hopping in and out here. I got to take a look at it. But I just saw a couple tweets that FaZe was able to win their second match.
Yeah, I mean, they're advancing as well. I know a lot of you guys back home had them as hot favourites to actually win this tournament as well.
Yeah.
And after suffering the first defeat initially to one of the Australian teams, there was a few doubters, but they're proving their worth now as we go into the double elimination bracket.
But hopping into side 2, if you did just come into the game, it was an 18-second lead for the members of TCM. They really held control pretty much the entire match, never really trailed at all. So we'll see here going into side 2. What do you have for a prediction for me, Rel?
Well, I mean, after an 18-point lead on the first side, I think TCM are going to be happy to just kind of hold this as a tie. So I think TCM will take it, but not by more than 18 points.
No, I agree with you. That's a big bit to come by. But hopping on with next here, pushing C, got some help from a teammate here. They should be able to take this, and at the same time, it looks like the opposition, TCM, are locking down B at bar, and they still have some coverage on A.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, A and C do fall into the hands of the Canadians, and they are looking quite good off the starting blocks. Now, Anticity needs to make both of those kills, but he does get shut down there by Madcat.
Yeah, that was a big play there, and just early 2-cap here that we have for the members of the Canadian team Wild. They're going to need to keep this up really to get some momentum going to try and overcome that 18-point deficit. And just looking at the early score, no one really off to too hot of a start. I mean, Moose 3-1. We have a couple gooses for each team, and next, and I believe it was Marky B. So they've got to get the ball rolling here as we hit the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, and I mean with TCM, they're one of these teams that just have the chemistry to bring themselves through, individually extremely skilled. Madcat, I mean, he was arguably the best player in Europe over the last 3 titles, replicating that performance here on Call of Duty Ghosts, heavily recognized as one of the best players in Europe as well, and I think he's going to be key in the success of TCM here.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more, and they've extended that lead out to 12 seconds, so just like that, they've almost made up the 18 points already by holding this AC, and that's, what you look for. They're about to lose C now, but AC, if you have the right setup, you can really pin a team in bar and make it very difficult for them without a coordinated push out to get any type of control. But as you see, they did take C there, but immediately they were able to convert B. So they keep this 2-cap control. There was just kind of a transition around that left side as far as the points go.
Yeah, this is really, really strong now, actually, from Wild Gaming. They do have 2 flags under their control, and they are retaining that as well. And now we are seeing 18-point difference in Wild Gaming's favor. So now Wild Gaming are in the lead. Next is going off this time with a 7-point streak, 6-2.
And that's wild. He had 6-2, and last game we saw he really, really, really struggled. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
What a difference one game can make. But yeah, they are in the lead now, just under 2:45 to go, and I think we're going to have a tight one.
And I've got to get on board with Marky. What is going on? I mean, we're 2 minutes 30 almost into this game, halfway through the second half, and not a single kill. But he does have 2 captures, and is going to be pushing out and trying to get either Alpha or Charlie.
Yeah, and I think as soon as Marky B gets going here, we'll see them climb back in this one. But that's not very typical of him. We've seen some really incredible play out of him over yesterday and today, and that is just not a strong start at 1-8.
No, but he is giving it his all now. He is going to get shut down, Moose there. And, this is going to be really close. Do not forget that TCM do have an 18-point lead from the first side. So bear that in mind. They are, of course, playing under Federation, who are trailing 38 points to 56.
And just like that, we have 2 down here for TCM. But, wow, every flag was neutralized just a second ago. But they were able to lock down Blue here. They have a member trying to defend A right now, and Moose, he is able to do that. So they should have a 2-point or 2-cap here, and that might be enough as they're only up, what is it, now down to 14, so they have retaken the lead here.
Yeah, just about, but again, very, very close between both of these sides. I want to see what's going on with Gunchi now. A recent poll in the European community that got posted over on Red Bull said Gunchi was the greatest of all-time Call of Duty player in Europe. He's playing at the highest level once again, and throughout every single Call of Duty title, he's always been at the top.
Yeah, he just seems to be kind of a staple of that European community when it comes to consistency. I think I read a stat that he's basically been on the #1 team all throughout his career.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely been up there, always top placing, maybe not winning every single LAN, but a lot of prize money has been won and a lot of tournaments under his belt.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. So this is a chance for him to really shine on the biggest stage. And as we look at it, it is a 10-point differential, 50 seconds left.
Moose and Marky just went huge there, took down all of Wild Gaming, and now this is it. TCM are bringing the pain. This has been very close so far. I was wondering what Madcat was doing there, but I think they're just sitting back. They know there's not long left on the clock, and they can just run this time down.
Yeah, no, that was great. And like you said, cleaning up the whole team there with 50 seconds left when it's this tight of a game, that just sealed it because they're not going to be able to cover that. No.
Oh, no.
I get all excited, and it was a little too premature as he gets cleaned up.
But, man, this has been really close. This isn't going to be possible now for Wild Gaming, but they've put up a very, very good fight against arguably the best European team at the moment. There is that little toss-up between Epsilon and TCM, but TCM did take the European Championship.
Yeah, and Wild, they had a really good start there. They held 2, I think it was A and C for quite a while. Then they kind of rotated left and switched over to hold B and A, and TCM took C. It was a good, half of the game, kind of where they had control of that, and they jumped out to almost a 20-point lead. But props to TCM. When it came down to it at the end, they just started really doing the slang, took back control, and were able to seal game 1.
Yep, and it was a total difference of 12 points there in that domination.
Wow.
Not that much, and I think this is going to be a close best of 5. I can't see this being 3-0 after seeing such a strong performance from Wild Gaming.
I don't think so, and I just really don't think we're going to see a 3-0. As similar in talent as it seems these teams are when it comes to skill, especially when this is going to be deciding who goes home and who has a chance to play for that giant prize pool, I don't think we're going to see anybody get 3 out.
Well, the next map is going to be Warhawk Search and Destroy, so stay with us if you are enjoying this Best of 5 series, and we'll be right back after this short break.